If you want to be the best athlete you can possibly be, there's no other product than Snac. You bring it down. My name is Andre Rozier, and I am Snac Strong.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Marcos Villegas, being joined with Joel Diaz via Zoom at his office, his home office, his gym. I don't know where you at right now, Joel.
I'm at home.
You're at home?
Yeah, but this is my office here at home.
Your home office, straight from home, just chilling right now. Joel, over the weekend, we saw a fight where we got a new lightweight champion, Teofimo Lopez, beating of Vasyl Lomachenko. What did you think overall of the fight and the game plans of both fighters?
You know what? I'm going to tell you my perspective, and I'm going to tell you what I think of the whole fight itself. I mean, when they made the fight, I was actually really excited about the fight because, as far as I remember, when I saw Lomachenko fight for the first time, it was under a Bradley undercard when he made his pro debut. I think it was Marcus Bradley. Yeah. And then from there on, I saw him. That was the only time I saw him because everybody was talking about Lomachenko, how great he was, an Olympian and here and there, And I said, okay, let's watch him. And after that, like, man, this guy is so good. He's so good that he's boring. I mean, he wasn't an attractive fighter for me, to watch because, all his movements, all his angles, all his ins and outs. And maybe because I'm used to another style of boxing. I like the Mexican style where you're going to go in there. I understand boxing is boxing, but, you got to give the people a little bit of excitement, And when I saw him the second time was against Linares, but because I wanted to see what Linares can do against a fighter like that, And it was a great fight. Linares landed the right. Lomachenko got up, and he executed his plan by attacking Linares to the body. So after this, when they made this fight and just watching Teofimo Lopez, just beat up on all these guys, I said, well, it's important. You there, Marcos?
Yeah, I'm here. You're having some trouble there with your camera.
Sorry,
there we go.
Getting a call. I just hate that.
No worries.
So look. So the thing is, I got interested in watching the fight due to Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, an exciting fighter. Very explosive. And most of all, his character himself. The way he talks. His dad. They remind me of a Danny Garcia. The dad wants his 5 minutes of fame. He's the way he speaks is like, okay, and it caught my attention because, in this sport, you have to sometimes, have a way to speak, be professional, Sometimes you say the words that you're not supposed to, but I'm like, okay, let me see what this kid has. And the kid and the father, the father's so confident, but, being confident is one thing, but speaking the way he speaks is like, okay, in a way like, okay, let's see, that's not the way to speak or communicate with people or express yourself. So honestly, based on the experience, I had Lomachenko winning the fight. I said Lomachenko
before
before the fight, everybody that called me and, hey, what do you think about the fight? I said, what? I honestly think Lomachenko will win. Why? Because of the experience. He's a great fighter, two-time gold medalist. He's seen it all, 400 amateur fights. I think Teofimo Lopez doesn't have the experience to step in the ring against Lomachenko, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't like to sugarcoat stuff. I honestly thought that Lomachenko would stop him before the 10, and that was my prediction. I said he'll stop him before the 10. So, looking forward to the fight. It's been years that I don't have such a excitement waiting for a fight like that. And this time I was moving forward to look. Thank you guys. I was looking forward to this fight. And what happens is I train on Saturday early, and then I had some work to do in the gym. So when the guy that was going to do the job told me, hey, I'm out of work already, and it was 4 o'clock. I was barely coming home. He goes, hey, I need to do the job right now because I can't do it tomorrow. The next day, I need the job to be done ASAP. So I head on to the gym. And we have a TV in the gym. And actually, I went through so much things to watch the fight because I was so excited. When it's not a fight, when it's a fight that I have no interest in, I don't care. I'll just listen to the outcome later or watch the comments or watch the outcome on social media. But no, I wanted to watch the fight. So, I'm really bad with gadgets like TVs, phones and stuff.
So,
so
hey,
I'm calling my brother and I'm calling my son. Hey,
Zoom.
Yeah, I said, how do you turn on this TV? I know how to turn on the TV, but I wanted to program ESPN on my phone and this and that. And they're telling me, hey, you got the code here. Finally, I get to watch the TV on the gym. I was by myself. I had a guy cleaning the canvas in here. So I'm at the gym by myself. I'm looking forward to this fight. When the fight starts, Marcos, I was like, okay, 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. I'm like, come on, Loma, come on, do something, do something. So I started to analyze. I said, what is Loma thinking? Does Loma have such a confidence that he's gonna start working and beat this guy in the later rounds? When he got to the 6th and 7th round, and I see Lomachenko doing nothing but just blocking and moving, I was upset. Because Teofimo Lopez was looking for the fight. He was looking to exchange. He was looking to interact in a fight. But Loma was very defensive. After the 7th round, when Loma started applying pressure on Teo and executing and countering him, he started doing something. The 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. And there was a point where I saw Teofimo Lopez frustrated and a little tired when Loma started applying the pressure. But then he slowed down again. Overall, I was very disappointed at the fight. I was mad. I was disappointed because, every prediction I did, we never know what's going to happen in the fight. But based on our experience, I honestly thought, if Lomachenko would have started after the 3rd round the way he did on the 8th, 9, and 10, he would have stopped Teofimo Lopez. What happened here? I don't know. So after the fight, I'm getting calls from people, hey, coach, what happened? And like, man, I don't know. There was even people telling me, oh, I lost money because of you. I go, really? People ask me for my advice. Who do you think? You're free to opinions and whatever people ask you, right? People ask me, who do you think is going to win? My opinion was, I think Loma's going to win, but that's the way it was, honestly. And I can tell you this, fights at this magnitude should end up with some excitement. This fight, to me, was one of the worst. One of the worst because between the 1st and the 7th round, there was a small volume of punches and very minimum contact. So there was between the 1st and the 7th, there was not much action. Yeah, Teofimo was looking for a fight, but Loma wasn't, complying to, hey, let's exchange. He was very, very, very defensive. And the only shots that Teofimo landed were body shots, a couple shots here and there. And then after the 7th round, Loma started applying pressure. He was landing some of the punches he was throwing, but they were very minimum. The volume of punches throughout the whole fight was very minimum, so there was not a lot of action. It was exciting to see some action throughout the whole fight, but we never got the excitement. And I was like, man, this fight's, honestly, a type of fight at this magnitude shouldn't end up like this. And then, I honestly think that Lopez won because he was the aggressor. He was looking for the fight. He made a little bit more contact than Loma did in the majority of the rounds. But, what happened? I honestly don't know. Honestly, I'm looking forward to this weekend's fight where we're going to see Cuadras and Estrada. Those fights are worth watching. I'm telling you, these fights from these Mexican guys coming up next week are worth watching. I will never watch a fight like this guy's again, honestly.
Oh man,
it's just a waste of time. Look, I have a lot more important things.
Teofimo's exciting.
Yeah.
You said, he brought the fight. He brought the fight.
He wants to fight, but remember, you need a good
dance partner.
Say, necesitas una buena pareja para bailar un buen tango. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You need a good dance
you need a
partner.
Good partner to dance a good tango, right?
Yeah.
And
It takes
Teofimo
two to
didn't have a
tango.
good partner that night.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Why
so-
do you think that is? Why do you think Lomachenko was so hesitant to throw anything in those first rounds or really do anything?
Well, those are the things that we don't know. You know,
Mhm.
well, those are the things we don't know. I mean, I've talked to a couple of people recently, and they tell me that Loma had some injuries going into the fight, but he
Yeah,
wanted to follow.
I read something. He just got shoulder surgery a few hours ago, but that's all I heard. I don't know if it's a thing he was going into the fight or
whatever
not.
it is, whatever it is, but Loma didn't show, and it's not that Teofimo. I mean, yes, I mean Teofimo has his style. He's dangerous because he looks for the power shot to knock you out. But like I said, when you are a two-time gold medal champion, you've seen it all. I mean, you could dominate a guy like Teofimo Lopez. I mean, but there's things that we don't know behind the scenes, you know. I mean, I've had a guy that knows Lomachenko's team, and like, man, I mean, he had a damaged nose that happened in training. His nose was seriously damaged going into the fight because it happened in training, but you know they don't want to say it. I go, but still, I mean, he was already in the fight. I mean, look the rounds he gave us, 8, 9, and 10. Those 3 rounds, he was going forward, and there's a plan right there to beat Teofimo. If you apply pressure to Teofimo, apply pressure. Don't give him the end of the punch, because Teofimo going forward is very dangerous. But if you apply pressure on him and make him go back, you have some success, and that's what Lomachenko did. But honestly, overall the fight, I'm very disappointed. I mean, I should have just focused on cleaning the carpet and cleaning the gym than watching a fight like that. Honestly, man, it's disappointing.
You know, with what happened, a lot. Teofimo after the fight said, there's no point in doing a rematch. I dominated this guy. Some fans are saying
he didn't dominate. He
Mhm.
didn't dominate. I mean, dominating means like, oh, I put an ass whooping on this guy. He didn't. I mean, honestly, between the first and the 7th round, I mean, a couple scratches, in 7 rounds. And then after that, the only round that he sort of like landed the most, I think it was the last, because he stood in there in exchange with Loma. But I mean, dominating in what way? I mean, I didn't see him putting a beating on Loma. Loma was just very defensive. You know what I mean? I mean, he's right. He was moving forward. He was the aggressor. He was looking for the fight. But I never saw him putting a beating on Loma like, oh, I dominated him. I mean, there was basically no action, and it's not because of him. It's not because he didn't put the action. He was looking for action, but Loma didn't give him the action. I mean, honestly, not me. I will never see it. Even if there's a rematch, I won't even waste
You wouldn't
my
see
time.
it?
I won't even see it.
Why not? What if it's different? What if what you're saying is true and he did have injuries?
What if it's different? That's a risk that I take. It's
Yeah.
like, I thought this fight was gonna be different because all the
the trash talk, the hype,
all the trash talk before the fight, all the insults that Teofimo, put into Loma. I thought Loma was gonna have, like, you know what? Like he says, he said in one interview, I want to take him underwater until he feels what it feels like to not be able to breathe. So I said, okay, Loma is very quiet. He's got the experience. He's gonna take him in there, and he could have done it if he would have started after the 1st or 2nd round. Honestly, if he would have started early, he would have done what he did in the 8, 9, and 10. Because if you see the frustration in Teofimo Lopez's in those rounds, I mean, if he would have done that early in the fight, taking them into the later rounds, he would have had some success. But he didn't.
It could have been he was giving him too much respect and he was really worried about his power. Do you think maybe it could have been that?
You know what? I don't think so. I don't think that, because honestly, I mean, I take nothing from Teofimo Lopez, but Jorge Linares is a solid fighter with more experience and a lot of power. I know Linares is, in his whole career, he's knocked down or knocked out 90% of his sparring partners. You know what I'm saying? So Linares has power. He dropped him with a straight right hand. So, and he was there exchanging. He was exchanging with Linares. I mean, this guy is a young lion. He's young, and he has a dangerous punch. But I don't think he has the power that Linares carries in his punches, honestly. It's just youth.
Yeah.
Youth, yes. Power, I think Linares is more powerful his punches than
Because
Teofimo.
a lot of people would say Teofimo's more explosive than Linares. And
He
he's
is more
bigger
explosive.
Bigger
He
guy
is more
than
explosive
Linares.
because he's younger. He's younger. You know, he creates that space. He moves in and out. And Linares is more flat, like coming in. You know, there's difference. There's differences in the fighters. I mean, they're both great fighters, but I think that Linares' experience and power makes up a little more than Teofimo, because Teofimo still needs a little bit more in the professional business. He's a young kid. He's barely coming up. He took a risk. Much respect, but honestly, I just think that night was more of a psychological or physical from Lomachenko.
So it's nothing, because a lot of people have said that because of this result, because of what happened, Lomachenko was overhyped, that he's old now. They've been saying, I've heard it. They've been saying that he hasn't looked the same as dominant in the last fights. Could that have been a play at all? Do you think maybe he's slipping a little bit?
It could be a lot of things, Marco.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of things. Remember, he's been inactive for a long time.
14 months. Yeah, but Teofimo was inactive. But no, I understand. He's younger.
He's younger. And remember, Loma has had a lot of injuries in his career.
Yeah, lately, yeah.
He's had a lot of injuries, inactivity, his age. There's a lot of factors in his fight, but we don't know. I mean, you gotta be around the team, because there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't see. They only see what happens on TV the day of the fight, but they don't see the things that happened before the fight in camp. How they're feeling. There's certain injuries,
and especially with this fight too. With this fight, there's no way either or would have pulled out because of how anticipated it was, how big it was.
There was no way.
Regardless, either or, because Teofimo could have came in with injuries too,
we don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you. I mean, there's times in which people think about it, about certain fights, and there's been a few fights that I analyze and I say, what happened? I'm disappointed. I'm telling you, I'm disappointed. And I was mad that night. I go, fights like this should end like Pacquiao Marquez. Fights like this should end up like Morales Barrera. Like those big fights that, like De La Hoya Mayweather, De La Hoya Pacquiao, Cotto Margarito, like that. That's the way these fights are supposed to end. I mean, these fighters, Lomachenko, considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world. Come on, give the people a little bit of excitement in there, I mean, look at all these fights there have been in history. Jose Luis Castillo, Diego Corrales, man, you can't compare. You cannot compare. I mean, these fights nowadays, they're a joke comparing the fights in the past. I mean, those fights that give you that excitement that you're going to be talking for the rest of your life. I mean, I won't even talk about this fight. I'm talking about it because you're asking me, but I won't talk about this fight.
I wanted to get your perspective.
I mean, if you tell me about Castillo Corrales, I'll be talking to you all night about that fight. I mean, exactly. You're talking about.
You know what? It's looking like maybe Teofimo is gonna give us some great fights. It looks like he's gonna be around for a long, long time. Where do you think he goes from here, and where do you think Lomachenko goes from here?
I don't know. I don't know if Lomachenko. I mean, in my perspective, right? Lomachenko deserves a rematch.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, yeah. He deserves a rematch to redeem something of what he lost in his last one. Because for me, he lost a lot of respect, honestly, because he's a better fighter than he performed that Saturday. You know what I'm saying? But like going back, Marcos, I'm gonna tell you this. Going back, I was like, why did this happen? Why didn't Lomachenko let go of his hands between the first and the seventh round? I mean, this fight was free on ESPN. Top Rank has so many fights every week, and they're on pay-per-view on ESPN Plus. Why this one, the bigger fight, is free? I mean, is there something going on where there's going to be a rematch? And, I mean, on the next one, Loma will beat Teofimo? Or, I mean, I don't know. It's just weird, because – I mean, I've seen Lomachenko fight, and even though he's injured, when he fought Linares, he fought with an injured shoulder.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that I cannot find answers for. I'm just trying to put the puzzle together.
Well, Teofimo Sr. says It's because of Teofimo Jr.'s jab and his ability to move and shift away so that it wouldn't allow him to Lomachenko to move the way he usually does.
Come on. That's not the thing. Honestly, you saw the 8th, 9th, and 10th round. Loma was executing the jab and landing 1-2 on top. Lomachenko is a way smarter fighter than that. I mean, Teofimo he is elusive. He's fast. He has a great jab, but every time he was throwing the jab, he was throwing the jab just to invite Loma to throw the right. Mm-hmm. And then he was successful with an uppercut, right uppercut, and he tried throwing that uppercut every time, and Loma was focusing on executing that uppercut. He landed one or twice, but other than that, Loma was executing that uppercut. I mean, in the 8th round, Loma started going forward. He was executing Teofimo Lopez's jab and coming over with 3-4 punches at the same time. I mean, I don't think so. I think Loma has seen many fighters like Teofimo Lopez. Yes, Teofimo Lopez is a young, confident fighter coming in, but I honestly don't know what to say. I mean, I give credit to Teofimo Lopez for stepping up to the plate against Lomachenko, pound for pound, the best, and he did what he had to do. Honestly, I don't blame Teofimo Lopez. He was looking for a fight. He was chasing Loma around the whole fight, but Loma wasn't coming back.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.